And here we go. Okay, so if you could open up the document that I dropped in the chat, and actually I'll put it in our coach group as well. So this is something that I went through, God, what's today? We're through yesterday with one of our like crazy amazing upline coaches, Barbie. And basically it's to figure out your avatar. So it's asking questions that you're going to go through to figure out like who your ideal client is so that you can better speak to them basically. So what we'll do, and like when I was going through, I found it really kind of challenging. So don't stress about it. Just answer like whatever you think. The first part is kind of just like,
SL, Caitlin is in the waiting room.
She just got there.
Okay, she's just, yeah, that's okay.
Let's catch her up real quick. Hey, Caitlin, are you there?
I am. I don't know why the video didn't work. Oh, here we go. Oh,
So you have to turn it on sometimes. Hey, girl.
yeah.
Okay, so I have an activity for us that we did with Barbie yesterday, which was super cool and helpful. So what we're going to do is, can you see in the chat I dropped a document there? If you open up the chat and open up that document, it's like an activity.
There's nothing in the chat.
Oh, maybe because you're new, I'll do it again. New.
Oh, there it is.
Cool. So open that up and we're just kind of going to work our way through that. Everyone's is going to be different. So I think maybe what we'll do is we'll take 10 minutes to kind of mute and just work through it on our own. It's basically finding your avatar. So finding your ideal client and who you really want to speak to when you're creating posts and all that kind of stuff.
That's so cool. I did that last week.
Did you? Cool.
Yeah.
Then you should like fly through it.
Yeah.
Like I don't expect us to get through the entire thing, which is fine, but it's a good spot to start, and we'll kind of work through the document on our own first, and then we'll come back in 10 minutes and we'll just kind of talk through it and kind of talk through it more so that we can get a better understanding. Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right.
My pen.
I do suggest, though, if you're right in the Google Drive document, to make a copy of it to your own drive so you can type right in it. So we're not typing over each other.
Into the same thing.
Yeah, I know. Okay. How far are you guys? Ish.
I'm in the first part still.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm like done. I got the like creation all done, and now I'm working on that second area.
The deep and dark.
Yeah, the deep and dark.
I'm still at the beginning, but
Okay.
I'm still writing. I'm writing.
We'll do another couple minutes and then we'll kind of come back and we'll talk about it and then we'll go farther into it.
Okie dokie.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you. So this is kind of, we're doing this in a condensed time right now, and you can obviously go back and finish filling it out after, but for the sake of this call, let's stop where we are. Does anyone want to share kind of a snapshot of what their avatar is slash looks like?
Sure. My avatar is named Sara-Lynne. She is a 29-year-old female. She is a single mama of 2 girls. She is a homeowner. She makes about $42,000 a year because she is a healthcare worker and she works at the hospital. She is huge into conservation, and that's like her religious beliefs. That's what she does. She enjoys going to the woods, hunting. She idolizes and like listens to podcasts and stuff about Eva Shockey and Sarah Bomar. So Eva Shockey is like hunting, and Sarah Bomar is fitness and talks about nutrition and has a protein line, stuff like that. Her guilty pleasures is eating Doritos at night while she watches Grey's Anatomy, and yeah, that's a little bit.
That's really good. I'm in love with it, and that's super detailed, even more detailed than I got to yet because I'm still working on mine. But so something that, as I was looking
Just a
through mine,
second.
yeah,
I
what?
want to make note of how smiley your face was when you were talking about her. You're
right?
so excited.
So I did this exercise last week with my girls on our team call. We made our avatars, like with our Team Sparkle group.
Yeah.
We did this last week. We made our avatar. So I've been working on my avatar and her fears and her dreams and everything like that. Like we went
That's
like
awesome.
full in, like
Love
jumped
it.
2 feet deep. So Sara-Lynne has been in my life for a little bit.
She's not new.
I love it. Sorry, I'm making a boomerang of you because I'm in love with all of it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess this was the part that was like kind of easy. And then the next section goes into more about what that avatar is, who they are beneath all of that, kind of like a deeper look. And so if you guys are okay, we can kind of just talk our way through that, because it might be, I mean, we probably have 15 minutes left on this call. So it might be easier for us to kind of just talk our way through that so that we can go back on our own and have a better idea of how to work through that. Because when we did it with Barbie yesterday, I was a little bit, so I started to make my avatar and I was picking out all of these traits and all these characteristics and all of these things. And I couldn't help but notice that the avatar was frickin' me. And I shared that with Barbie. I was like, Barbie, I like just made myself. I feel so, I felt like, I don't know, I like I couldn't think. Felt like I wasn't thinking outside of the box. And she was like, no, that's cool. Like if you want to recruit people just like yourself, like that is fine. And I was like, okay, good, because I think that's what I've always been focusing on. And of course, I kind of have, I don't know, I've called them like sub avatars of the umbrella avatar, I guess. So I'm working on developing that. So that's something I wanted to share, because if your avatar's like, you're like, shit, that's my twin, that's okay. So I guess what I want you to think of now, and you can think out loud and you can share it with us as well, is deeper than everything you went through or those sort of things, the traits and characteristics. I want you to think about who your avatar is. Like, where are they in life? What are they doing? What are their hopes? What are their dreams? What are their fears? Like, we did this, and yesterday I kind of had a hard time trying to nail that down. And then and that's when we were working through the questions on our own. And then so as we started to share with each other, sort of that process and more of what that looks like, what I noticed we started to do is really first look at ourselves and kind of analyze who we were when we started coaching, or who we were when we started programs, if you started programs before coaching. Why did you start? Where were you in your life? Like, what was going on? And, you know, really what pushed you to where you got to be. So that was something that really helped me understand this process, and to be able to pull back more of the layers and take a deeper look. Does anyone have any ideas around that? Do you want to share? Or are you not there yet?
So you got something, Em?
No, I was just gonna make it up as I went.
Oh, okay. Well, that might be the best way to do it.
I can, here, I'll share with you like what I kind of realized is that for myself, there was like 3 phases. So when I first started Beachbody, I didn't really start as an actual coach. I just started as challenge groups, and I kind of analyzed like who that person was. Why did that person sign up? You know, where was I at in my life? And then I was a master's student. I was full-time working. I was super busy, and I was just looking for ways to kind of cut corners on time and to fit more into my day. And so I kind of analyzed who that person was and why she joined Beachbody challenge groups as a client. So there was that avatar. And then as I worked through, my second phase is when I signed up as a coach. So I just signed up as a coach for something to do. at first. And I really treated it like a hobby, if you can even say that. I kind of just like weaved my way in and out of it, and I didn't entirely take it seriously. And so I guess I joined for the community, and I just liked people and engagement, and I started to analyze who that person was and where they were at in life and what they wanted and what Beachbody could do for that person. But then the third phase is where I'm at kind of now, or where I've been, and that's the avatar that I really, really want, because that's who I want to start building a team with. Is, you know, when I became a mom, when my income became important to me, where I needed to find other sources of income, I started to look at this as a business, and this is where I really want to build on my key avatar, to understand who they were, why they would like to join, what their fears are, what their hopes and dreams are, and what Beachbody can do for that person. And that's what I really want to focus on when I think of building a team. Does that make sense? I mean, I still have to analyze the shit out of these avatars, but
Yeah, for sure. Because you don't necessarily want to be I know, oh, what's her name? Haley Christensen. Lolly used to be obsessed with her. Anyways, so I semi became obsessed with her just because Lolly did. And she always used to talk about how like she was a drug addict or like heavily into alcohol. She would always be late for work. She was a hairdresser. She worked like long shifts, and she was like, I might not necessarily, like, she was like, I was trying to recruit the old me, and the old me didn't give a fuck until such and such thing happened to me, which caused me to change to a new person. Like, it's not those I don't want to recruit those people because they don't want it. And so she really had like this shift where she's like, I thought that was who I was, but there was something that triggered her to switch into someone else. And those were the people, like those brand new, like new version of her is who she was really trying to find, because they were ready. And they might not be where they wanted to be, and they might still be like, you know, a newer version of you, but they're not those people that don't give a rat's ass, or you know what I mean? Like, and so I think it's cool that you can look at it in different phases, because you know, there might be certain phases from your life that those people don't care yet, but something could happen in their life that makes that switch, and you still want to be, you know, connected with them and relating with them, because whenever that switch happens, then they might be ready to, you know, seek you out, if that makes sense.
yeah,
I just always remember her talking about that, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
exactly. So I guess like also to kind of complement this exercise, you kind of want to decide how you want to build your business and where you want to go with your business. So if you want to really build your income and focus on team building, then you need to find your avatar that's going to get you those team building coaches. If you want to focus your business on just running like kick-ass challenge groups, then you would, for example, go back to my phase 1 avatar, where I just signed up for challenge groups, and then really focus on that sort of avatar. So I know, like, you definitely need to know what sort of business you want to run and where you want to go with it.
And it's endless opportunity.
Right? I know. Yeah. Did anyone want to share any thoughts or realizations?
I really just like took from what Em just said about I was trying to recruit the old me and she didn't want it.
Exactly.
And I think also, like, sorry to interrupt, but I think it's still important for you to talk about her and connect maybe the changes that really caused you to switch, because it might spark interest in people. But I think, yeah, like, you don't want to spend all your time on the people that aren't ready. You want to motivate them by showing them, but not necessarily giving them all your time because they're not ready. You just want to pour love into them until they're ready.
I feel that.
Because they might not even know what they want.
100%.
This is such a thoughtful exercise.
I know, right? It's fun.
Because like I think about me when I started, like I was in university, 4th year university. I was gonna graduate and have this degree, and me and my dad had bought a house, and I was like tweedledee up on my high horse. And now I would like puke my guts out if I asked my parents for any support because I've tried to become so independent. But when I started, I was like, oh, if I fail, you know, my mom will buy my challenge pack for me. It's not that big of a deal, like blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, no, I'm doing this for me. I don't want anyone else's help. You know what I mean? Like,
Right?
there's been a lot of changes in my life over the last 3 years.
It's kind of fun to like go over that and go
Because
through
when
it.
I was there, I definitely didn't feel like I was that person, but I definitely was.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but I was different.
Hindsight is 2020, dude. That's really what I wanted to share out of that. I mean, you're welcome to, as I open it, to kind of dive deeper. There's tons of prompting questions to dive deeper and really like narrow that down, because I mean, sure, it's good to know the first section, like who they are generally, but if you really want to speak to them, you want to go into the deeper and darker sections and kind of figure out those questions so that you can speak to them how they need to be spoken to and bring out some realizations that they need to realize.
I feel like I'm going to complete this and then make it like my answers, like kind of like a thought bubble, but like on my wall.
Yeah, like topics.
So I can be like, here are all the things that I want to talk about. Like, just think of all the hashtags you could make or all the post topics that you can create when you're sitting here trying to plan your post for the week. Instead of just being like the same stuff over and over again. Like, this stuff gets deep on so many different levels.
Right.
Like, you're still like I could talk about like my financial insecurities all day, but if I answered each of these questions in that thought process, that's 30 posts. And then if I switch to like, you know, being a dog mom of a dog that's effed, and you thought about them in that situation, then that's like 30 more thoughtful posts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can come up with so much content that's not just kind of thrown out into the air and see who grabs it. Like, you can actually target
There'll be people out there that are like, yes.
Right?
Yes. But only if we continue to follow and grow our followers based on the very beginning of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think when we focus on growing our following, it's kind of in that first section. But then when we're talking, we're really sharing about like the deeper level shit.
I agree.
It's like a funnel, but for friends.
A friend funnel.
A friend funnel.
So good and productive.
I love it. But you know what I mean? Like, if they don't really match up with any of the things at the top, am I really going to want to be their friend?
No.
Hard to say. Maybe.
Probably.
But if they do, then I probably will.
All right,
Okay.
friends, that's
like that.
all I have for tonight.
I'm going to keep this open. I'm going to finish it when I wake up in the morning.
Right. I'm going to work on it tomorrow too, but I think I have to go in because I think Scott needs to go. I see shadows moving.
Oh, God. Okay, well, thank you for running that.
Yeah, of course.
Lovely.
All right.
You should be able to upload it into the group.